Welcome to Sing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Krista Gerlich to talk about a very special senior class that has done some special things as they get ready to celebrate Senior Day this weekend on Sunday at 2 p.m. Be there if you're seeing this before
Yes.
that happens, please. They have the best start to the season in program history, the most Big 12 wins since 2013, the first win over Baylor since 2011 at the beginning of the Big 12 play, now the first sweep over Baylor since 2004. First win at West Virginia since 2015, and the first time being ranked since 2012, and now 9 straight weeks, I believe, in the polls. And I'm probably forgetting stuff. So it's been a wild season, and I appreciate you coming on the show to take some time to talk about this group.
Yeah, well, that's an easy talk and an easy request because this has been such a special year and such a special team, and what a great group of young women that we've assembled here, and to get to call them Lady Raiders for life is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to follow and cover them and be a fan of them as well all year.
Yeah.
One thing you said earlier this year that kind of stuck with me that I haven't had a chance to ask you about, if you don't mind talking about more, is I think it was one of your radio interviews. You said that this group kind of gives you a piece and even like reminded you why to stick with the profession, to stick with the sport. If you don't mind just kind of elaborating on why this group gives you that piece and
Yeah, for
meaning.
sure. First of all, they are so unselfish, and I've used that word a lot this year, and it's kind of interesting because there's times in the huddle that we'll talk about being selfish, but but as a whole,
Basketball and
I
life.
mean, yeah, it is. I mean, it's part of it, but literally when I say that, what I mean is is that they all came in here looking to be a part of something special their senior year. And with the transfer portal, it's really hard nowadays because a lot of times when you get kids for 1 year, they're either looking for a bag, if you will. I mean, that's the day and age we live in,
Yeah.
or they're looking to how can they pad their stats and have a me year, right? And I just think that we did such a good job of recruiting this group and really finding the right character of kids that they really wanted to come in and do something special, and they wanted to help this team and this program do something special. Um and what I mean by them, they give me a piece, is that we literally don't have to coach attitudes. We don't have drama off the court. Like, we get to coach basketball and we get to figure out, whether it's X's and O's, but also just um, enjoy watching them pursue their passion and play with passion and play together and like really really enjoy being around one another. That's the mark of a team. I mean, that's the mark of a really special team, is when they are not only together when we tell them they have to be together, but they're together off the court. They're together um, and laughing and like belly laughs and picking on one another and sharing these great memories and laughing about when coach got after them, and after the fact, of course, after the fact.
Of course.
But it does remind me of why I do this, because I mean, you can let the pressure of this profession steal your joy and steal your peace. And I think that I personally, and this is not about me, but I think I personally have had to go through that of realigning my priorities and realigning my passion and like, why do I do this, my purpose. And this team has really amplified and reignited that flame in me, as to why I do this. And we're getting to see just the fruits of their labor and the fruits of our labor come out in the joy of watching this team compete. And that's probably the biggest compliment that anybody can give me about my team and my program, is when they say, I just love watching your team play. They're so much fun. And when you have referees saying that, and when you have opposing coaches saying that, when you have obviously fans saying that, like, that you've got the right kids in the locker room.
Yeah, it's been a joy to watch them for that reason too. Like you always know what you're gonna get when you like turn the TV or you show up at the arena with this team, which is not always the case, but
Yeah.
I love to
Well,
hear
it's nice
that.
of you to say that after coming off of 2 losses where I feel like we
Yeah,
haven't seen
yeah,
what.
we didn't. We're not taught. This is happening right after the Kansas game for
Yeah.
instance. That's
But
not what this was
that's
about, so we're not getting into it. But
that's
yeah,
right.
no,
That's part of it.
I mean that's part
But
of basketball.
I
So
do
yeah,
think this and to that point though, to that point, you know this team is special when you get a text the day after a loss, and you get in at 2 a.m. and you get a text at 9 a.m. of pictures of your team reading books to children at schools, at 8 a.m. in the morning. That's when you know you've got the right kids because they really value their servant leadership roles and they understand the responsibility of being a Lady Raider and that it's not just getting producing wins. It's also giving back to the community and being great role models. So I just had to give that little shout out because
yeah,
it's one thing to go and read when you're told to go and do that, but like the day after a loss, you get in at 2 a.m. and they're there at 8 a.m. and spreading joy. It's what this is about.
that is
We're
why y'all
winning.
need to show up and support this. Again, if you're seeing this
Correct.
before, it's if y'all have dreamed of a season like this for however many years, this group is giving it to you. So go show them love. So you said at some point, maybe it was after the Baylor game, that y'all had this talk about why you brought each player here and the identity. So I'm just gonna run through each player and kind of ask a couple of questions. That being one, what you saw in them, whether it was Bailey Maupin 8 years ago, or some of
Mm-hmm.
them just 6 months ago. It feels like, or whenever it was that they joined the team.
Yeah, maybe a little
And
less
then
than that.
yeah, that's like you said, that's the day and age.
Yeah,
And then also just something about them that maybe fans don't realize as a player or as a person.
love
But
that.
we'll start with one of those newcomers in Snudda Collins.
Yeah, definitely going to go down is one of my favorite human beings, and just getting to know her heart and getting to know her background and where she's from and all the things that she's been through, and her story and the life that she's creating for herself now. Um, I just I'm just floored at what a remarkable human being she is, because she has every reason um, to be bitter. She has every
Hmm.
reason to be mad at the world in general, and she just hasn't been. I mean, she's taken her love for the game and help it be an avenue to give her a better life and give her family a better life. She has built relationships, and she's been very transparent in those relationships, um, with us, to build trust and to build a lasting relationship that we know will be valued and be very vibrant long after she gets through playing. Um, we chose her to come to Texas Tech, or we tried to entice her to come to Texas Tech, because of her incredible talent. I mean, she's just an incredible playmaker, incredible basketball player, and you got to have some of those, right? You got to have just flat out hoopers.
Hmm.
And she was a game changer, in my opinion. And it was a late addition for us. I mean, very much a late addition. And we kind of took a chance on her as well because she hadn't played in a year. Sometimes it takes a while for kids to get back in their groove, and it did take her a little while. But we definitely are seeing what she can do and and why she's so special. And I just love the fact that she has embraced not just Lady Raider basketball and Texas Tech, but Lubbock and West Texas. And so much so that I think she's going to make this her home after she's done playing basketball. And I love that so much about her.
Man, don't let the haters hear that. Only come here for sports lies.
That's right.
No, yeah, she's been a joy to watch. You can just see, like, I mean, we didn't get to see her up close and personal when she was at Ole Miss, but she just plays with a lot of joy. She just seems
She
happy
does.
to be there. Like,
I've
it's
sent
great.
her multiple pictures that they've captured of her on the court with a smile on her face. And I'm
Hmm.
like, this right here, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And when you get to play the game that you love and you really enjoy it, and you're with the people around, you get to play with people that you love and trust. It just it makes it 100 times better. And I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna put it out there, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to see her name be called in the draft. I mean, I just feel like she deserves that. She's at least gonna get an opportunity to be in a training camp. I know, but I would
Yeah.
not be one bit surprised if we don't hear Snudda Collins' name called.
I've seen her name on all those little mock drafts eking its way up as it should. She's like you
Somebody
said,
needs to take a chance on her.
she's a hooper. I don't know why you wouldn't give
Yeah.
her a chance. Next one on the list, another one of those transfers, old Gemma Núñez.
Um, Clearly, there was no doubt that we needed a point guard.
Hmm.
We've needed a point guard since I've been the coach here, and for whatever reason, every year that we've played, something has happened to our point guard, and so we've had to develop and mold and push over and ask people to do it that were not point guards, and they did it, and they did it to the best of their ability, and I think it made them better as a player, whether that be Bailey Maupin or Bryn Gerlich or whoever that might have been. But we desperately needed a true point guard. And so we set out to find the very best point guard that we could that was a facilitator first. Um, we obviously would love to have a scoring point guard, but we definitely needed a facilitator first. And so Hema just jumped off the list of the transfer portal because of her assist to turnover ratio and just the volume of assists that she was able to produce for her team at Campbell. And once we got to know her, then it was a no-brainer for sure because I really am very particular in the point guard position, and which is one of the reasons why we've struggled to even fill that spot, because I have to have such a great relationship with them, and we have to almost think alike at times and be on the same page, and they have to be able to be coached hard, if you will. And um, she just does all of those things. She wants to be great. She wants to be as great as she can be for her teammates, which is a true facilitator. That's what facilitators do. They're very unselfish. She's shown us that she can score the ball. We need her to score the ball, and so that has been an added addition to her being able to do that for us. And I just I knew instantly how that we chose the right one when she called me in, I believe, probably close to May 1st. She'd already signed with us. She knew she was coming to Texas Tech, but she had been invited to play on her 3-on-3 national team back in Spain, and she had played on it in years past. We and then we this needs to be said in our recruiting, especially as much as international kids we're recruiting these days. We always allow them the opportunity to play for their national team if they're given that chance, because that's quite the honor. And even though it takes away from us in the summers, I still just think that would be very selfish on our part to not allow them to do that for their country. And so we, of course, were going to let her do that, knowing that we were going to get to have her practice with us all summer long because of the World University Games, even though she wasn't going to get to play with us. She actually called me May 1st around that time and said, Coach, I I want to come to Texas Tech and practice this summer. I know I can't go with I know I can't play for you guys in Germany, but I have 1 year. You need me. You need me to be the best version of myself, and I need to learn what you need me to be as quickly as possible. And so I need to come and practice with you guys all summer long. And I just knew right then we got the right one, because there's just not very many kids that would do that. And I was just so grateful for her to do that. And not only that, but she came in, and when we were preparing for Germany, she actually played on our scout team quite a bit because we needed to play against some international, what
Yeah.
does that look like? And man, she went right at us. And there has been multiple times this year that I've referenced that back when we're working on our pace, because her pace of play is what is so instrumental to our success, and she ignites it for us. And when I catch her not doing that, I always reference, do you remember when you would just get the ball in and run it right down our throats on a made shot, in this summer? I'm like, I need that pace from you. And she's, you know, obviously a spark on the bench too. I mean, not on the bench, on the defensive end too, because she's just all over the place. She leads us in steals. She gets her hands on balls. She's not afraid to get on the floor. Like, she's just scrappy, and that's what we need from her. And that's why we chose her to come be a Lady Raider. And I probably have answered the other part about what do we not maybe not know about her,
Yeah.
just telling that little story. But her family, she does not get to see her family very much at all. They are going to be here for
I
senior night,
heard
which I'm so
that.
excited
Yeah.
for. Her boyfriend's going to be here as well, and he plays overseas, and
Yeah.
and so it's really incredible how she has given basketball. She knows that she has given basketball the avenue of using it, right, to allow her to get an education, to allow her to to play at the highest level, um, when it really has taken her away from her family, for a very long time. And I just
And
think
home.
that speaks, yeah, I think that speaks to just her as a human being, of being able to survive and to be able to be tough through that. And and just using the time that she has um, in college to be able to open doors for her, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just really love Hema, and she's not near as quiet as everyone thinks she is. And she's very funny and very witty. And I love Hema Núñez. Yep,
Yeah.
love her so much.
You
I'm
talk
going to
about,
say that about every player, just by the
well,
way.
I mean, yeah, as you should. But you talk about how the sacrifices she's made and the tough, all the things living away from home, and people may not know where Campbell University is, but I do because I used to live 20 minutes from there, and there's like a McDonald's, and that's it. So Lubbock is like a metropolis, I'm sure, to her. For spending 3 years there, and now getting to do this, it's cool to see watch her. And
It's
now she,
interesting, right? When these
yeah,
kids come from these amazing countries and they land in
yeah,
Campbell, or they land at Lubbock, and
yeah,
that's their taste of America. But what I love is how many of them really do love Lubbock. They love
yeah,
Lubbock, and it's about the people. We all know that. We all know it's about the people, but I love that experience that they get.
sure. And she recently joined the 500 assist club, and then I believe against Kansas joined the 500 rebound club, and she could join the 200 steals club, which I don't know how many people are
Oh
active
wow.
with all three, but she's only one of 11 to be active right now with 500 assists and 500 rebounds.
Wow. I had no
And
idea.
the
I
200
didn't know
assist
that.
part, I don't know if that'll cut it down to like five. Like I don't know how you. Someone will look that up, but that's
Wow,
pretty cool.
that's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, she's fun to watch for sure. Um, Little partner in crime, I guess, at the point guard slash combo guard spot is Sidney Love.
Yes, Sidney Love. Love me some Sidney Love. I'm super proud of her, because of just the obviously the journey that she went on, and how difficult it was because she got injured. And so she had to miss quite a few things, and we were really quite a few games, but we were also really trying to help her figure out what was going on with her,
Yeah, kind of
physically, and
crazy.
so she really had to push through some things. So she hasn't had quite the experience that everybody else has until now. And I'm really proud of the fact that she's really trying to play her best basketball now. And so it's taken her a little while, right? And I don't think we've even seen her very best yet. But she's such a unique individual because she's so stoic. I mean, she's just she's got a great personality. She's so smart, and she wants to be great, and really wants to be coached hard. But we laugh at her so much because we're like, I need a little emotion here. I need to see. I need to
She is
see. I need
very,
to see something. I need to come on. And and she's like, I'm in it. I'm good. I'm in it. Like and anyway, she's just super funny about that. But she's just really talented. I mean, she gives us obviously a scoring threat at the point guard spot. I love it when we can play her and Jim at the same time. Um, I love it because she can defend multiple people, and especially bigger guards that I wasn't sure she could because of her size, but she can, and she does. She has just a quiet demeanor about herself, and can take over some games at times, and has really helped us win some really important basketball games. And so we needed a combo guard that could help us in the point guard spot, but also score it and play the off guard as well. And she was one of the last kids that signed with us, and we thought we kind of stole one, if you will, because we
Sure.
felt like Sydney could really give us a lot of different things and a lot of different looks. And I'm just super proud of her and so happy that she's a Lady Raider. A little known fact that you might not know about her is she has two brothers
Mm.
who are basketball players as well, and they played at Baylor. Um, one just finished playing at Baylor and transferred to Georgetown, and one was a GA at Baylor. And so the Love family name um, in basketball goes very deep, and it's very well respected. And I think that she's the little sister and is coming up and doing some really great things. And she's just I just love her and I love her family and love her story. This is something that you guys don't know, that her nickname is Bird.
Oh no, I heard that early in the season, and everyone was like, "Wait, we have two of them now." I'm like,
Correct. It
how
was
they?
the most random thing because it was during our carpool karaoke
Yeah, I think
that
that's where
she told me.
yeah.
And I'm like, how do I not know this? And I'm like, why would you not? And she goes, literally, my family only calls me Bird. And I'm like, how do you not tell us that? Like, and she goes, well, because we already had one. And I didn't want to, steal
Aw,
that from her or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's literally for the same reason, because her mother used to feed her when she was little and her little lips would like pucker up like a bird. And so she started calling her a little
that's
bird.
funny.
So funny.
Aren't they both from the San Antonio area
They are
too?
from San
Something to do
Antonio.
with I don't know. Anyways,
Random.
I'll say them together because I'm sure their story somehow crosses over, but you can talk about them individually if you'd like as well. But Sara and Mimi Sanogo.
Yep, the sisters. They like to tell everybody that they're twins, but they are not. So let's make that clear. They are the
Do look a
same
little different.
eligibility wise,
Yeah.
right? They came in at the same eligibility wise, but Mimi's older, a year older than Sara. Um, I'm going to talk about them together, but I have to talk about them separately first,
Yep.
because obviously Sara was here the
Last year.
longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was here last year, and I'm so proud of Sara and how she's developed, and being that this is the day after the Kansas game. Wow,
Whoa.
so proud of how she
Yeah.
played against Kansas, and she's been playing really well. Just getting better and better and more confident, and really seeing her skill set just improved so much. We brought her here because obviously our history of needing five players, and needing an inside presence, and not so much because we knew she was going to be a dominating inside presence. We needed her for her athleticism and for how
Mhm.
she could defend and hopefully rebound. And I think last year was pretty tough, pretty hard learning curve because we threw her to the wolves. But my goodness, this year she has just taken it and ran with it, and it's gotten better and better. But last spring, and to be honest, when we were recruiting her the first time, or obviously through from Odessa, she and Mimi wanted to come together, but we just didn't have the room,
Yeah.
and nor the need for Mimi at the time, and so it was better for Mimi to go. A different route. And to be honest, it probably was better for Sara and Mimi both to
Yeah.
be able to experience at least 1 year apart so that they could become individuals, because they do rely on each other very, very much. And I'll be honest to say that Sara relies on Mimi a lot. And so for her to go and be away from her for a full year, I think was very difficult, but also very empowering for Mimi, for Sara. And Sara came to me in the spring, and she knew that we had quite a bit of room on our roster, and said, is there a way that we can play together? And she said, Coach, I promise you that I will be better. And she said, I will be better if she's here. She goes, I just will be. And she has been, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she certainly has been. But let me now turn around and talk about Mimi. Love that kid.
Mhm.
If we didn't have her, um, the energy would be severely different. And we would be begging our kids to give us some energy because our kids are older.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of spirited hype, if you will. There's not a lot of immature nonsense.
Yeah.
And not that that's
Which is
what
great
Mimi brings.
99% of the time, but there's that 1% every once
Yeah.
in a while.
Yeah. There's not just a lot of nonsense. And you kind of need some nonsense. Like
Yeah.
not just silly, but you need some hype. You need some silliness. You need some, and to be honest, our kids are so much older that they're mature and they're like, they're not in it to dance around. They're not in it to hype it up. They're here to play basketball. And
Yeah.
so Mimi gives us that voice and that energy and that spirit that you just need. And she gives us laughter and she gives us joy, and my goodness, she stays ready. And that's what I love about her, is that she stays ready. um I think she's um obviously very strong, and she can help us defensively. And when she came in against Iowa State, I was so proud of her for being able to give us those minutes there. And we're still, there's still going to be opportunity, and I know that's really hard for her, and because she wants to play so much, but the selflessness of her is understanding her role, and she buys into it 100%, and she gives it to us every single day. So whether that's the spirit that we need and the hype that we need, the encouragement, or if it's like she did the other day and came to me and asked if she could be on the scout team so that she could really go rebound hard so that our kids had to really block out. She did that for us. She just is, she knows the scout. She wants to learn every day after a game. She is in the gym. It might even be that night after the game. She's in the gym going through a workout, trying to stay ready. And I just think that speaks volumes to who she is and the character that she has. But um, I will say that I love Mimi individually, and I love Sara individually so very much. But my goodness, the Sanogo sisters, they're pretty fabulous as together.
What a duo.
Yeah.
We'll drag them on the show once the season's over.
Oh, you should. Oh my goodness, you should. And Mimi's so great about pulling that out of Sara, pulling some fun and some personality and whatnot out of Sara.
Yeah,
She's really good at it.
that's good. I feel like she might do that for a lot of people on the team, maybe, but definitely Sara.
100%, which is why she's our girl. She's our hype man.
Yeah, I love it. Someone that has a lot of personality in herself is Jada Malone. Just really have enjoyed kind of getting to know her a little bit this season.
Absolutely. Jada obviously filled a huge need for us in the paint. We needed a five-player that could produce, that could have a presence. Um, and, I'm not, I would probably venture to say that we brought her in to be our starting five-player, and that Sara, not
Yeah.
necessarily has held her off because they both are so different, but Sara has given us every reason, right,
Yeah.
to still to still be our starting five-player. But man, Jada has just taken that like a champ and been like, you just tell me what you need, and I'm here to do it. And I tell Jada all the time. That I truly believe that every time she touches the basketball, something fantastic is going to happen. She's either going to score it, which I believe she can do just
Mm-hmm.
about against anybody, um, or she's going to make a really good decision. Whether that's just a quick kick out, whether that's finding a great backdoor pass, a cutting guard, whether that's kicking it out and reposting, she just makes good decisions. I think that she um, gets unfair treatment.
I was about to say she gets the world's worst whistle in the game of
Yes,
basketball that I've ever seen. I
yes.
feel so bad for her.
She gets bad whistles against her, and she does not receive any whistles for her.
Yeah, it's wild.
That girl takes on more um, pounding and pushing and hitting and swiping than anybody I've ever seen, and really doesn't complain about it, but doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. And I just, that's probably what I argue with the officials the most about, is just how much she has to absorb, just because she's strong, and
Yeah.
she uses her body really well, but then because she's strong, people bounce off of her and they call it against her, and I just hate that for her. And it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say it. Um,
I'll say
but
it. I've already said it,
yeah,
so
thank
yeah.
you. Say it
Yeah.
for me. But Jada, has given us such great minutes and is going to continue to and just provides a big time need for us, and she's done everything that we've asked her and brought her in to do, and to be honest, she's done it on some pretty bad knees. We've had to really monitor that and maintain that throughout the season, and I think she's done a great job, and I think we've done a great job, and Brenna Ellis, our trainer, as well, of just managing her the load that she has on them as far as wear and tear and whatnot. And we've been able to get her the reps that she needs to be able to keep her in sync, but yet limit reps so that her knees, aren't just killing her after every game and after every practice. And I think the other thing that I would say about her is just how incredibly intelligent she is. She is
Genius.
she will have an engineering, well, she has an engineering degree, and she's working on a master's now. She will do some type of cyber security or data analysis or words that I don't even know what mean and
Yeah.
what and how you even use it, but she will do those things at a very high level and will be extremely successful at it. But her basketball IQ is off the chart, and and just her intelligence. I mean, she's so intelligent.
Yeah. For sure. And she has at least was on a team that made the NCAA tournament. I think she was injured that year, so maybe will be someone that can give a little experience coming up before we all get into postseason. And someone that was
Absolutely.
on maybe like a similar team to the story y'all have going this year, Miss Adlee Blacklock, coming over from Oregon State, made an Elite Eight run with them. Maybe she's gonna bring some of that magic in her role with y'all. But Lubbock native in her second year with Texas Tech now.
Yes, Adley, love that kid too. Man, I just say that about everyone, all of them, right? Just love them all so much, so and so differently. I mean, I love them so differently, but all the same too, all the same. Adley absolutely could bring some of that magic with us because she's a hype player as well. She definitely is a hype man, and gives us a boost of energy immediately. And I need to give her more opportunities to do that for us. And she takes all of that like a champ as well because she's so incredibly unselfish and such a great teammate. Um, but Adley has been fantastic at obviously coming in and give us a great lift when we need a three. But she also has come in and made terrific impact on the defensive end of taking it of game changing plays, right? A hustle play. She makes it.
Yeah.
She takes a charge, or she'll get an offensive rebound or dives on the floor after a loose ball, and gets that crowd back into it. And so those are just those are kind of intangibles that you just hope that that you have somebody that can bring for your team, and she's done that so very well. Um, I'm so grateful that she came home. We recruited her. I was like, I think I might have been her first offer when I was at UT Arlington when she was an eighth grader, but definitely recruited her hard. And her grandmother lived down the street, and I pulled all the stops. We brought grandmother to the games, to UTA and all things, trying to get her to come to UTA. And then obviously I got this job, and I was so grateful. And that's she was Bailey Maupin and Adlee Blacklock were my first two phone calls, and she had just committed to Oregon State, and I know she wanted to fulfill that commitment, and she gave us an opportunity, to try to lure her before she left, but she stuck to her guns and went to Oregon State and had a great time and a great experience, I believe, and made some terrific friends, and then had a great run the last year, and made it to the Elite Eight. So we definitely will lean on her to talk to our kids about how magical that can be because her team wasn't expected to do that either.
Yeah.
And they did. They certainly got it together at the right time. So so proud of her. And I asked her just yesterday, I believe. She asked me, which I don't know why they asked me this because they know they can, but she asked me if she could put me on her resume, on her reference list, and I'm like, Yes, of course. You
Of
know, that's
course.
a no-brainer.
Adlee.
But I said, I go, well, Adley, are you applying for a job? Like, what are we doing? What are we going to
Yeah.
do with our life, when we're done playing basketball? And she said she had to do it for an award that we were nominating her for. She had to
Oh.
submit it. But she said, actually, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was
She
about to
said,
say, I feel like we might have asked Adley in this summer, and she was like, I don't know.
yeah, she has no
So,
idea. And she said, I've told my parents, we're just gonna figure it out. We're just gonna fly by the seat of my pants and figure it out. And
that's very
that's
Adley.
she's another kid that no matter what she does, she will be fantastic at it. She's another one that needs to use a billboard because she is no doubt all about 806.
Yeah.
Everybody in the 806 knows Adlee Blacklock. They love them some Adlee Blacklock as they should. And another
No one
just
gets a louder cheer
terrific.
than her.
What's that?
So no one gets a louder cheer than her when she
Right,
enters the
no,
game in
absolutely
that
not. Yeah,
stadium
everybody
every time.
comes to life.
I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
one
god,
one
they all
hundred
here for
percent.
Adley every
That's
game.
exactly right. And she just is a joy. I mean, she's another one of my favorite human beings. Like, she's just such a great kid, and I love her family so very much. I gave her dad a hard time about us sweeping his alma mater because they are Baylor Bears, and
Didn't know
he
that.
didn't have a problem with it at all, which that was great. Love her little brothers, and I'm so so glad that she's been around for their careers and for their high school
Yeah.
years because they are really special young men as well, and I'm so glad that she's been able to be a part of that.
Yeah, I love that. She got kind of the best of both worlds. She got to experience being away, and now she gets to be home. So
For sure.
it all
And
worked out how it was supposed to.
kids think they want that until they get there.
Yeah,
And then they're like, where are my brothers? Where's my mom
it's a
when I
long
need
way.
her? Where's my, what? And even if they come up there and visit a lot, it's not the same.
Not the same.
So
I went
all you
to
local kids out there need to recognize that.
I went to Australia when I was 20, and I got there, and it was fun for a week, and then I was like, what did I just do?
For sure. And Australia's fantastic. Like, of
Yeah, that
all
was
the
great.
places you could go,
After a little while, I was like, I loved it. But man, you don't
absolutely.
know. You don't know until you don't.
Home is where the heart is.
It is for sure. Speaking of that, maybe home. She got here a little later than maybe y'all wanted her to, but old Denae Fritz.
Yeah, old Denae Fritz.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I love me some Denae Fritz. I'm saying this about everybody. Oh my gosh, it's so
well,
true though, and
you
I've told them
should.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
I should, and I've told them this. This is what makes them all so special. I love them so very much. But Denae Fritz will also go down as one of my all-time favorites. I mean, they all do, like they all will. But her story is just what my heart is all about. It's obviously if you can find them early and you know about them early and you can get them here for all 4 years, like that's the dream scenario.
Yeah.
But that's probably the greatest thing about the transfer portal is if they're not in the right fit, and that happens. It
For
does. It
sure.
just happens. I mean, I've had kids that have left this program that weren't the right fit for me, maybe, and they found a better fit somewhere else, and it does. It just happens. That's part of the recruiting process. But she when she was at Iowa State as a freshman, at the end of the year, I said, actually, maybe right after we played them, I said, if Denae Fritz ever gets in the portal, that's my girl. And I didn't even know her. I didn't know her at all. I just loved the way she played.
I'm pretty sure I'm on
Loved the
record
way.
saying the same thing on the episode after she, took it to y'all at the one at Iowa State. I said, I
Yeah,
don't know who this girl is. She annoys me, but if she ever wants to play for Texas Tech, it is weird. And then it happened.
sign me up.
Yeah.
Yes, sign me up. And so when she got in the portal the first time, we called and
I'm
she'd already
sure. Yeah.
committed to Baylor. And I was like, what are we doing? And so obviously missed that chance, right? And so the second time she got in the portal, Drew made a phone call to her immediately and said, hey, just so you know, like, I know you've been in the Big 12 twice, but my head coach, you're her favorite player in the Big 12. And we need to talk to you. And so, she is a little bit hard to crack when you first get to talk to her because she's reserved, she's got a wall up, little, not
Yeah.
she's not just putting it all out there. So, our first couple of conversations were a little bit difficult, not really, but a little bit difficult just because she's just not an overly
Yeah.
talkative, like, "Hey, coach, like, what's up? Let's just shoot the breeze here." And so until you get to know her, and then she is. But I had to get to know her, and but the funniest thing ever about Denae is when I said, "Have you been to Lubbock other than the time that you played
Yeah.
here?" Because actually, I believe Baylor that year we didn't play them here, and so I guess that was last year before last, and
Yeah.
so whatever. Anyway, she was like, "Yeah, coach, I was there 2 weeks ago." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You were here 2 weeks ago. My sister lives there." I was like, "What? Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Tennessee." "Why does your sister live here?"
I remember learning that too the first year. She was in the portal. I was like, we have hope. And they were like, no, she's not coming to Texas Tech. And they told me, I was like, all right, well, fine.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I mean, long story short, but this kid's sister lives here and actually went through a walk-on tryout with us and all the things. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told you that story. It
Oh,
was,
you know that? That's
oh my
funny.
goodness, yes, my very first year, her sister was was at Tech, and she was one of the kids that went through the walk-on tryouts when Ashlyn
Yeah.
Cadell made the team, and actually her sister was very good. She was just tiny.
Yeah.
And I already had like three tiny
Yeah.
kids on my roster. And so I was like, I can't have another tiny one. And, but it was like, and Denae didn't tell me that she tried out. Like she didn't make that connection. She just said, my sister lives there and she teaches out there now, whatever. So then after Denae signs with us and, I talked to her dad says, "Do you remember walk on tryouts the first year?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You remember the little blonde running around?" And I was like, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, ton of bricks. And I Fritz all the things. And
Yeah.
anyway, I asked Danae later, I was like, why would you not tell me that?" She goes, "Because my sister did not want you to know. And she's going to be real mad. She did not want you to
She's
remember." And she goes, "She's going to be real mad when she knows dad told you."
it's funny.
So that's probably more information than what this conversation is about. But I just loved telling that story because it was like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I am very hopeful that Danae makes Lubbock her home after she gets done playing at Texas Tech. But Denae Fritz, defender, obviously shooter, defensive mentality, toughness, um, the swag. She plays with the swag that I want all of our players to play with, but just the all business and like, but I'll do the hard stuff for you, coach, and then I might tell somebody about it.
She will, as she should.
and and I like that in the right time, right?
For
In
sure.
the right
For
time.
sure.
We can't be having she's rubbed off on her roommate Jalen a little bit too
Just a
much.
little bit. Yeah. Maybe Jalen
Jalen's
needed that
gonna
a little bit. I don't know,
y-
but maybe too much. Yeah.
yes, exactly. We just got to do it at the right time.
Yeah.
But I love how hard Danae plays and just how tough she is. But truly, it's the loyalty for me that she's developed over the course of her stay here. I don't think I've ever had such a transparent conversation in the recruiting space. And I try to be very forthright every time I speak to a recruit, but you're always going to probably paint it a little better than it actually is going to be. And I don't think I did that with Denae. And I think it was very transparent with what we needed and what I was going to demand from her and what I needed her to give to me. And she loved that. And she loved and so in retrospect, that's how we need to be every single time we communicate, because every time I've done that with a player, it's turned out wonderful because they know what they're going to get, right? And I just she's so incredibly loyal, and she's so incredibly determined to continue to meet the standard and exceed the standard and pull her teammates along the and make sure that they do that too. She was fantastic when we brought in all these new kids, and she set the tone every day in practice and wasn't afraid to tell them, "No, that's not how we do things. This is how we do things in Lady Raider basketball." And for her to do that after only being here for a year was really special to me.
Yeah. And she's another one that has some NCAA experience too. And maybe some
For sure.
winning the Big 12 tournament experience as a 4 or 5 seed. I mean, the similarities, Denae. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
as a senior.
exactly.
Full circle moment coming
Exactly.
ahead for her. But yeah, she's been fun to watch. It's always fun to watch a player kind of take that transformation. I'm sure she doesn't wishes that her journey didn't go the way it did, but to like bounce back the way she did and bet on herself and
Absolutely.
bet on y'all at the same time, it worked out. So
Absolutely.
she and Bailey, maybe someday, fans, we've tried, are the most requested players to come on this show because of their stories. And I'm like, they're just not gonna do it, y'all. But maybe
Oh, we got to
someday.
make them do that.
Don't
I'll
make them.
encourage them strongly.
But yeah, no. If people ask all the time, but because they both have different stories, but people love both of them as they do all of them. But
Absolutely.
yeah, well, we've tried to get them on, but maybe after the season, once they're done playing basketball, they're just so focused about
Yeah.
basketball. That's what we tell the fans. We're like, we promise they're not saying no to y'all. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the media.
I told
Anyway,
you they're
yeah,
both kind of they're not just like outwardly like let me just talk about it.
yeah, no,
Like they're pretty reserved.
both have cool stories. And her partner in crime, like I said, co-captain this year, Bailey Maupin. Everybody knows Bailey Maupin, but is there anything else you can share about Bailey Maupin, who, by the way, against Kansas, for those that live under a rock, did just become the 4th all-time leading scorer at Texas Tech?
Unbelievable. I just love that so much. I'm so I mean I'll get emotional talking about Bailey because of the journey that she's gone through with me. And to be honest, I was her first offer, and when she was in the 7th grade, 8th grade, I think 7th grade. Obviously, being from Groover, and like that's 15 miles from Spearman High, where I went. That's the only two cities, if you will, in Hansford County. So we're Hansford County products, and she probably knows my story more than anybody else, just from growing up there. And I know her story from just knowing her from I've known about her, and I've known her family and members of her family for forever. But I just I'll never forget recruiting her, bringing her to UTA, and offering her. I remember sitting on the scoreboard watching her play pickup with our girls, and I called her over and offered her a scholarship, and little 1A, like she wasn't this big around, offered her a scholarship. And, we just had such a great relationship, and through the sticking with her through the recruiting process and everything. And she basically said, Coach, I'm not going to play at UTA, like I'm going to play
Could see
Power
Bailey
Four
saying that, like,
basketball,
sorry,
and
coach.
I knew it, like I knew that. And when I actually was driving to Lubbock, when the job first came open, I was driving to Lubbock actually to spend 24 hours with my former teammate Stephanie Scott Rathel, to go to the lake. And I was going to spend 24 hours doing that. And as I'm driving, the news breaks, so it actually turned into an interview.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I spent the entire 24 hours on the phone with Kirby and whatever, doing all those things. But on my drive, Bailey Maupin calls me and says, did you just hear the news? And I'm hearing your name. Is this happening? Because if it's happening, I'm going to be a Lady Raider. And she said, that's the only way I will be a Lady
Yeah,
Raider.
it was, yeah,
And
fair.
yeah, and I said, I can't tell you that yet, but let's hold that thought. Hold that thought. And so, and then of course we had to go through the recruiting process where, she just was like, Texas Tech will be in the hunt if, you're there. And so,
then she slow played you afterwards.
correct.
Yeah.
Then she slow played us.
Yeah.
And then she was on a boat at Lake Meredith which is the lake that we all go to if you're from Hansford County,
Yeah.
when she decided to call me and commit, which was just super random too. Like just randomly, she said, I'm going to call Coach Gerlich and commit now. So anyway, it's fun stories. It's been, such a hard journey to go through with her. And not meaning her individually, just the journey we went through was so incredibly difficult. But so impactful and so meaningful. And it has really tested, obviously, our relationship, but also just made it so tight And I mean, I truly feel like she's my daughter. I truly feel like, that we've been through so many hard, tough life lessons, and then also some fantastic things as well. That it's just the journey of life that we've been through. And um, clearly when I got the job, I knew we needed Bailey Maupin. Um, we have to get as many West Texas kids as we can when they're good enough,
Yeah.
for sure, right? And she just embodied. I knew how she was as a person, embodied the West Texas spirit and the toughness and the grit and the determination and the loyalty, and how much she knew about Lady Raider basketball and wanted to, and how much her family were Red Raiders. Like, she was just a no brainer. So that's why I had to have her. I
Yeah.
had to have her for all those reasons. And then for her to come here and stay through all of the change, just the landscape of college basketball, and had every, no, I wouldn't say every reason to leave, but like she got a lot of DMs, offering her a lot of money
I've heard.
to leave, and money that we couldn't match.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. And Bailey like embodies, to me, like everything that, like, what college sports is supposed to be about. You're supposed to find your fit. You're supposed to find your team. You're supposed to find your school, and you're supposed to go help build it up and leave it better than you found it. And she has absolutely done that. She will be one of the very few um, in this day and age that will leave her name in the record books, because you don't become the fourth all-time leading scorer if you transfer.
No, especially at this program. I mean, it's
Right.
quite the history.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for her to do
Cheryl
that, I
Swoops
mean,
is behind her, which is crazy.
yeah, it's a crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. And of course I always have to say that that's an asterisk anyway with Swoops, because she's only
2
here 2
years.
years.
But
Which is
still,
craziness.
but still,
I know, craziness.
she can
But
tell her kids that she's ahead of Cheryl
absolutely
Swoops
she
someday.
will. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely she will. And so I just love everything about her, and that's why she'll be an all-time Lady Raider great. Is because she stayed here for 4 years, because the people of Lubbock don't forget that. Texas Tech
No.
doesn't forget that. Like, when you decide to leave Lubbock, they will be gracious. They'll be like, okay, like, meaning, like, if you come to Tech and then you transfer, they're going to be nice. But
Mm-hmm.
the ones that come and stay and understand it, like, they just, Lubbock doesn't forget that, and they will cherish her, and love her, and support her for the remainder of her life, um, because of what she gave to Texas Tech. And I just love that for her. She really gets it, and she's a fantastic example for us in the recruiting world. And to just see what you can do to a program and how you can elevate it. And I am excited that we are having the season that we're having for her. And I always have to say this, because I just don't think people get so caught up in, obviously, the NCAA tournament, and I totally get that. And
Yeah.
obviously the Big 12 race, I totally get that. But Bailey Maupin will have played on 3 postseason teams at Texas Tech, and will have played on a winning team every year, all 4 years. That has not been done. I would venture to say, I don't know the last Lady Raider that's done that. Um, I mean, it'll have to go
It's
back a
been over a
ways.
decade. Yeah.
Right. It'll have to go
Yeah.
back a ways. And I understand that, we flopped in Big 12
Yeah,
play
did.
last year, but we got it together in the conference tournament, and we got it together to be able to play postseason, and had a winning record, and the year before that, obviously that was craziness, and we were super young. But we had a winning record. Her freshman year, we had a great record, and we played in the WNIT for the first time in years and years. And so all those things, to me, like, that's huge. She's very impactful, and it's the common factor in all of that is Bailey Maupin.
Yeah.
And
She's
I'm just super proud of her.
the only player on the team that's been here all 4 years. So
Yeah,
for sure. And she's stuck through a lot. And I mean,
absolutely.
came here, and both of y'all came here in the midst of a lot and
Yeah,
chose to take
absolutely.
that on,
And
which I
yes,
feel like
she
people forget
chose to help.
easily. But yeah,
And there's a lot to be said about that because a lot of kids these days want to go to a winning team already. And I
hmm
understand that. I do understand that. But there's something to be said about going to a program and helping build it. Because just, it's something, to be honest, there's something to be said about coaches that do that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's what
one
I'm
of them.
saying. Both of y'all chose to come.
I'm one of them.
You could have stayed
Yeah.
in much easier life where you were, but
Yeah, because yeah, absolutely. And coaches don't do that. Coaches don't go take programs over and rebuild. It's too hard. And kids and people, not just kids, people don't want hard. They want the easier route. And that's why this program meant so much to me. And I told Kirby on my interview, like, I'm probably one of the only people that can do this because I'm one of the only people that will fight through the fire or stand in the fire
yeah.
long enough to get it done. And I think Bailey did the same thing. I'm
She
super proud of her.
absolutely did. She absolutely did. And like you said, I mean, she could probably go anywhere in Lubbock for the rest of her life and never pay a dime if she wanted to. But
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole
100%.
this whole group though, hopefully they get that. Even the ones who are here for 1 year, because that's what we tell every athlete or anybody that comes on our show. I'm like, you don't realize that like this place has your back forever. Like I did, like I wasn't even an athlete at Texas Tech, but I can come back to Lubbock like 12 years later, and everyone's like, oh yeah, Red Raider, like come on in. Like it's just like the family here is just it's different. Kind of,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I
Absolutely.
lived
Yeah.
somewhere with 3 major colleges for 3 years, like and worked at those. It's just different. So
Yeah.
I can
It's
speak to
very
it from that.
different. Yeah.
So
And, and
it's
it's
cool.
and it is a loyalty thing. And it is, and I will tell you that, like, I do believe that when people from Lubbock say that Lubbock isn't good enough or they leave or whatever, like, Lubbock doesn't forget
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and
There's yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they embrace the people that love it. Like, embrace the people that come here and that give it a chance and that give it a vision and that they have a vision and they see it through. And I don't know, it's a very special place. It's a very special place. Yeah.
We could talk about them forever. I knew this would go longer than planned because there's 9 of them and you always
Yeah.
have great stories, but I'm sure that people will enjoy it. I just want to close it out with, what do you think or want this group's legacy to be, years from now or even now?
Yeah, I want it to be that they chose Lady Raider basketball because they believed in the vision and they believed in what they saw in previous, like in our tradition, right, in our history, and they wanted to be a part of something special. Um, and they all, I mean, especially because of 9 seniors, like, they all gave their last go round to um to Lady Raider basketball. They gave us
Yeah.
everything they have and have brought us back to national contention, right, to national prominence, and have they're going to leave their name in the record books because they're a part of a team that has the greatest start in program history, right? And of sweeping Baylor for the first time in years. And I mean, all the things, like, we can say all the things,
It's a
and the
long
things that you
list.
already said,
Yeah.
but I just, that they brought the joy of Lady Raider basketball and what it's intended to be um, about back to Lady Raider Nation.
I retweet all of that. My favorite thing about them, besides what you just said, is that they did it despite everybody kind of starting to count them out, and I think that goes a long way.
100%.
It's not easy to do when everyone's not everybody. Obviously, we exist, and other loyal fans are out there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of doubters with them, and they did it
Absolutely.
anyway. So
And to your point on that, like, and to your point on that, like, that's another reason, and I hope people hear this before Sunday. That's another reason that they deserve to play in front of a sellout crowd on Sunday. I don't know what more they could do. I mean, I understand that people are going to say, "Oh, you beat TCU, you beat Baylor, you messed up and should have won the conference." And you're right. We should have. We should. We should. We were picked 13th.
yes,
We were picked
like
13th. So all you doubters
disrespected.
out there, right? All you haters out there, like,
Yeah,
eat some crow and come put your butt in a seat and I'll forgive you.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah. I think I was like, I think they could finish sixth. And people just raked me over the coals for that. And y'all have even outperformed that. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
I love
it's
that.
just, it's the power of belief and of unity and of togetherness. And I mean, until you're in the arena, you don't really get to have an opinion.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. No, they have a special place in Texas Tech history, as far as I'm concerned, forever.
Yeah.
And anyone that hasn't experienced that yet, go experience it on Sunday and be there.
Yeah.
Uh, Last chance to get to see the senior group play in person, unless you travel with them, which you should do in the postseason, but in Lubbock. So go send them off, and then also help them get a big win that still matters. They're still playing big games that matter.
Absolutely.
So
Big, yes.
be there.
It's going to be a
Uh,
heck of a game. Yes.
yeah,
Big time
for sure.
game.
Well, I'll let you go from there. That's all we have. And as always,
Okay.
Coach, you've been around. Just finish it off with a solid Reckham. So,
Wreck 'em for
Reckham.
sure. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.